When I was getting divorced, I voluntarily gave up custody of my daughter. It was because on the day we went to the court to file for divorce, she clung to her father's neck and cried, bad mommy, I hate mommy. If you insist on divorcing daddy, I'll stay with him and let you grow old alone. In my previous life, I ignored her childish threats and fought for custody. I raised her with all my heart, but she hated me her whole life, never calling me mom again until the day I died. On her wedding day, she even invited her father's mistress on stage to give a speech of thanks. When I opened my eyes again and saw that malicious little face in front of me, I nodded indifferently. Fine by me. I don't want an unlikable child anyway. Fine by me. I don't want an unlikable child anyway. As soon as I said this, the two people in front of me froze as if struck by lightning. They looked at me in disbelief. Jack was stunned for a moment, then reacted and started cursing at me. What nonsense are you spouting in front of the child? I glanced at Annie, who was hiding in his arms, and repeated, I said if she doesn't want to stay with me, that's fine. I don't want such an unlikable child either. If you still don't understand, I can say it more clearly. I don't want her. I enunciated each word forcefully. As soon as I finished speaking, Annie, who had been burying her head and throwing a tantrum to try to force me to change my mind, suddenly looked up. She looked at me and burst into loud sobs. Her face was covered in tears and snot. Bad mommy, I hate mommy, she cried while struggling in Jack's arms. She almost fell. Jack had no choice but to lower his head and frantically try to comfort the child. Mommy's just joking. She carried you for 9 months, gave birth to you, and took care of you. How could she not want you? We all know you're her favorite. Under his gentle coaxing, Annie's cries gradually subsided. She clung to Jack's arms like an octopus, tightly hugging his neck, and asked in a small voice, really? Of course it's true. Don't you want to ask your mom yourself? Jack comforted her while giving me meaningful looks, wanting me to take the child and comfort her. Annie also looked over with tear-filled eyes, full of expectation, but I remained unmoved, not even raising an eyelid, still maintaining that cold attitude. Annie seemed to have been stung, her mouth twisted as if she was about to cry again. Jack lost his patience and glared at me with a dark face. What's wrong with you? It's bad enough you want a divorce, but now you don't even want the child? Are you still fit to be a mother? I sneered and said indifferently, wasn't she the one who said she didn't want me as her mother first? Of course I have to respect her wishes. Annie's small body stiffened for a moment, then she glared at me fiercely. She shouted, you were the one who didn't want me and daddy first. If you respect my opinion, why do you still insist on divorcing? My biggest opinion is that you shouldn't get divorced. Why don't you listen? You just don't want us. You want to make me a child without parents. In my previous life, she accused me the same way. She called me selfish and self-centered, threatening that if I dared to divorce, she would never acknowledge me as her mother again. I didn't argue with her considering her young age. Instead, I patiently explained to her. I said it was because her father had another woman outside. That's why I chose to divorce. I thought saying this would make her understand, but what I got in return was her naive yet vicious question. Is it because you're not good enough so daddy had to find someone else outside? My classmate Rosie's mom is beautiful and capable, and her dad would never look for anyone else. You're not good enough, daddy doesn't want you, and I don't want you either. At that moment, I felt as if I had fallen into an icy pit. A sense of frustration and despair I had never felt before welled up in my heart. I always thought that even if I wasn't a successful wife, I was at least a successful mother. Since Annie was born, all my energy and time had been spent on her. I was afraid she would be cold or hungry or feel wronged. I did everything myself, but after I had given all my heart and soul, all I got in return were 8 words. You're not good enough. I don't want you. My heart trembled violently, but not for a moment did I think of giving up. I thought it would be better when she grew up. When she grew up and became sensible, she would understand my difficulties and my love for her. So I treated her even better until her wedding day. She invited Jack and his wife, who was Jack's mistress, on stage, calling them dad and mom in every sentence, giving a speech of thanks. In front of all the guests, she knelt before that woman and said, you are the person I should thank most in this life. I want to thank you for bringing my dad out of that failed marriage.